The rarest victory is not the conquest of others, but the conquest of the self. A man who has mastered his own impulses cannot be bribed, cannot be manipulated, cannot be broken. The masses are puppets to their cravings, jerking in every direction when comfort calls or fear whispers. They are not free, no matter how loudly they scream of choice. True freedom belongs only to the man who commands his instincts as a general commands his army. Hunger does not move him without permission. Desire does not drag him into cages disguised as pleasures. Fear does not pull him away from the path he has chosen. He is not enslaved to appetites, to distractions, or to the validation of crowds. In his mastery, he has cut every string, and because of this, he moves through the world untouchable. When you need nothing, you terrify those who depend on everything. The world is built on control. Control through possessions, control through comfort, control through the fear of losing both. People are chained not by iron but by their own cravings. They worship the hand that feeds them because they cannot imagine surviving without it. The man who has mastered himself kneels to no hand. Take away his wealth and he will rebuild. Strip him of approval and he will continue. Remove his comfort and he will remain standing. This kind of man cannot be leveraged, cannot be bought, cannot be bent. He holds a power few dare to claim, because most are too afraid to cut ties with their dependencies. Self-mastery is not a gift, it is a war fought daily against the weaker self that lives inside you. That self wants indulgence, that self wants distraction. That self wants the softness of easy decisions. If you listen, it will pull you back into chains. If you dominate it, you will rise beyond the reach of others. Every refusal of weakness is a battle won. Every hour spent in discipline is a fortress built. Every temptation resisted is another weapon forged. The world will look at you and see calm. They will not see the battlefield within that you have already conquered. They will not understand the price you paid to stand so composed, but they will feel the weight of it. Most men are defined by what they consume. Food, lust, entertainment, praise. They are shaped by external sources. Take them away and they collapse. The man who has mastered himself is defined by what he produces: strength, clarity, order, willpower. These cannot be taken because they do not come from the outside. They are born within. He does not need to broadcast them. They radiate from his presence. People feel it when he enters the room. They sense it in his eyes, in his silence, in the steadiness of his movements. This power cannot be imitated, because imitation depends on approval. Mastery depends on nothing but discipline, and discipline, when absolute, becomes terrifying. When the storms of life arrive, most beg for shelter. They cry for help. They cling to whatever support they can find. The man who has mastered himself does not beg. He does not cling. He does not look outward. He braces. He endures. He adapts. This is why he cannot be defeated by circumstance. Others are ruined not by the storm itself, but by their own panic in the storm. He remains still, calculating, patient. When the storm ends, he is the only one still standing. This is the strength of self-mastery. It turns chaos into theater, fear into fuel, and destruction into the soil for rebirth. Do not mistake mastery for repression. The man who controls himself does not kill desire. He commands it. He does not kill anger. He harnesses it. He does not kill fear. He wields it. Emotions become weapons when placed under command. In the undisciplined, they are chains. In the disciplined, they are tools. This is why the man who has mastered himself does not need to hide from life's difficulties. He welcomes them, knowing that each challenge is an opportunity to refine his arsenal. Where others avoid hardship because it overwhelms their emotions, he seeks it because it strengthens his control. Silence becomes his ally. He does not need to explain himself because he knows explanations are for those seeking approval. He does not need to defend his choices because his results speak louder than his words ever could. He moves quietly, steadily, relentlessly, while the world drowns in its own noise. This is another form of power most cannot understand. They think strength must be displayed. He knows strength must be contained until it is required. This restraint is a weapon sharper than any sword. There is a kind of presence that comes only from self-mastery. It is not loud. It does not beg attention. Yet it dominates. People do not know why they defer to him. They cannot explain why his silence unsettles them or why his calm feels heavier than their noise. But they sense it. The unshakable stability of a man who has fought and conquered his own shadows. They live at the mercy of their impulses. He does not. That difference creates an invisible hierarchy wherever he goes. To need nothing is to own everything. The world cannot take from you what you have already given up willingly. Approval, comfort, indulgence. These are tools you use, not chains that bind you. With nothing to lose, you become unbreakable. With nothing to crave, you become unshakable. This is the paradox of mastery. By denying yourself dependency, you inherit absolute freedom. That freedom is rare, and that rarity makes it priceless. A man who masters himself needs nothing. He becomes his own fortress, his own source, his own crown. He does not chase after recognition, because recognition is already written in his actions. He does not cling to possessions, because possessions cannot define him. He does not beg for love, because love cannot sustain him. He has burned the need for external validation and in its ashes built sovereignty. Others are slaves to the world. He walks above it. And in the end, it is not the man who owns the most who rules. It is the man who needs the least.